It's like they say in New York, forget about it. This game, I mean.
We're going to have to.
Forget about it. Yeah, we've got lots more to talk about. Okay, we'll give you a brief recap of this one, but we will look forward to the best pitching rotation the Rangers could imagine. That's all coming up next on the DLLS Rangers podcast. The immediate future is so bright for the Texas Rangers, who will send Kumar Rocker to the mound tomorrow, Jacob deGrom on the day after tomorrow, and that is a lot of the focus of this post-game show. Hi, welcome to the DLLS Rangers podcast. It's John Radigan with Abby Jones and Jeff Wilson, and you. We want you as a part of this, please, because somebody's got to help us get through this thing. Yeah. It was 14-4. The Rangers allowed 13 extra base hits. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like us if you would, even if you didn't like that game. We didn't either. It took a long time. It wasn't as fun as it should have been.
They did not play hard. They certainly did not have fun.
Yeah, they probably played hard, but nobody had fun.
They didn't play well.
They didn't play well.
I guess they didn't pitch well. The Rangers, they had 9 hits, and which compared to what they did the first game of the series, they tripled their hit out.
There you go. Yeah.
And of course, they didn't even score. But
progress.
They're outscored 20-4 in the series, and ended up splitting the season series with Arizona. The teams were in 2 entirely different places at each point of the season. Both were kind of hovering around 500 there when they met earlier in the year. What was it, May? And then this year, the D-backs look to be one of the better teams in the National League, but it's a very competitive league over there, and we'll see what happens.
Well, in an amazing twist of fate, really, the Diamondbacks in the second half of the season have the best offense in Major League Baseball right now. And there's not much question. Certainly, they have the best in the National League, and you've got some pretty good offensive teams there, including the Dodgers with a bunch of Hall of Famers.
Shohei's going 46-47 right now.
I mean, there's a lot of good offensive teams over there, and look at what these Dodgers have been doing. And they got to Cody Bradford right away, man. That first inning, you had double, triple, home run, boom, 3-0.
I will tell you who got a piece of him, and that was Suarez. He was just a triple shy of hitting for the cycle, but he made up for it with 2 home runs on the day.
He touched third both times, right?
Yeah. A 5 home run game. I mean, uncharacteristic of not only Cody Bradford today, but also Nathan Eovaldi.
Yesterday.
Nathan Eovaldi gave up 3 home runs as well. This is 6 home runs between 2 guys that the Rangers feel are incredibly reliable. It just seemed that Cody Bradford at the beginning was not able to locate his stuff. We kind of joked about it a little bit, but one of those pitches that I think Suarez took deep for a home run, 80-mile-per-hour changeup right down the middle. I mean, that is batting practice.
Right.
So if you have a slower, lower velo, you
got to hit your spots.
You really do.
You got to hit your spots. And he just wasn't today. And when he was missing middle.
Right.
Yeah, he's a command guy, and when he doesn't have his command, I mean, you can say that about a lot of guys, but when you don't throw 97, you don't get away with as much. And Arizona
less
hitters,
room for error.
The Arizona hitters showed that today.
Yeah. They were hitting like 400 today.
Pouring on. I mean, they just kept pouring it on. Like we say, 13 extra base hits. What did you say? We said 7 doubles, 5 homers, and a triple.
Yeah, and so that I think that worked out to be 1,000 slugging percentage today. They batted 400, 16 for 40, so pretty
It's rough.
gruesome day for Rangers pitchers. But hey, tomorrow is a new day. It's a very new day. It's an exciting new day.
It is, yeah. Lots more coming up about the pitching rotation that will be happening in Seattle because it's going to be very fun for Rangers fans this weekend. It will make September a very interesting month as we see each and every one of these guys hopefully get multiple opportunities down the stretch in September. But yeah, we, when you think about exactly where this team was when they were in Arizona a year ago, not even a year, what'd you say, 315
like
days?
14 days ago.
315 days ago. This feels a lot different.
It does. I mean, just because you had success at one place doesn't mean it's an automatic recipe for success the next time that you go. I would really like to ask that conversation to Corey Seager, though, because it does seem like Globe Life Field has a ton of his career accomplishments. So you hope that, now that it is his home field, he feels some certain type of way there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to call it other than an uncharacteristic start from Cody Bradford and Nathan Eovaldi. I can't remember the last time that Nathan Eovaldi gave up 2 home runs back-to-back, let alone 3. And then Cody Bradford, this is the second time this season that the Rangers have allowed 5 home runs. The last time was June 11th against the Dodgers, 5 home runs that day. Ohtani, Freeman took them back-to-back, and then Hernandez, that was all in the 6th. But yeah, just uncharacteristic. I don't necessarily want to dwell on this too much. It's a 2-game series. In September, every single game matters, but you just chalk these up as 2 losses, 2 really rough losses.
There's nothing else you can do. And then, again, if the Rangers were fighting for a playoff spot, it would be a lot harder to swallow, but they're not. It's just time to move on, our thumbnail said, on to Seattle.
On to Seattle. You mine this time of year, though, for some positives. It was nice to see Marcus Semien hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Yeah, the last time the Rangers were there, of course, in November 1st, he hit the very, very big and important home run there that really put the icing on the cake and made it pretty much a sure thing that the Rangers were going to win that game and win the World Series. And he had 2 great games to finish that series after struggling throughout the postseason. And he hasn't had his best year. He'll be the first to admit it. But again, it's about finishing strong. And if he has a good month, he goes into the offseason feeling good. Goes for a lot of guys. We talked about it in the pregame show. Who I'd like to see Jonah Heim get a hit this month.
I'm praying for it. It's number one on my prayer list.
Maybe 2 even. Get a ball out of the ballpark.
Get him feeling good.
Yeah, just go into the offseason wanting to go work out again and waiting for, they're all going to take at least a couple weeks off. But when they finally decide to work out again, go into that gym or go into the batting cage, whatever it is that you're going to do and be ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what was great? They showed that Marcus Semien home run from November 1st on the broadcast tonight and today, and it was just reliving those moments is so great. And just to watch him, he hit it out, and then they cut away to him between first and second, and I mean the reaction, just the guttural scream of and his jewelry is flying, and it was, it just brings back the memory of like what you were thinking as you were watching at that moment.
Yeah, and I just, it's different when you're in the press box because
you don't cheer.
I was about to say, you were there.
You're trying to get something done to post right away when the game ends.
Yeah.
And, the wheels were coming off for the Diamondbacks. Alec Thomas missed that ball in center field that I think it was a Heim hit that just kind of, it just unraveled from there. And then for Marcus to hit that ball, you just knew it, and then so you get your story written, and you're just waiting for the last out. This day and age, you get your camera ready, to record some of the celebration, and it was just a really fun 2 or 3 hours after that game of working and trying to get interviews and talking to guys
Chaotic,
who were in the bag, and it was just fun, and hopefully they experience it again very soon. I'm not going to say, Abby pointed out there's like a 1% chance. So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah,
they're saying there's a chance.
You're coming for you.
You better run, John. it's a great time. It's a fun time. It's fun for the fan base, and then after the Rangers had their celebration, took a day, came back, had the parade. It was just a great time, the best time in franchise history. And
no doubt,
you're not having it this year, but like you said, you're mining for positives, and hopefully these last, what are we down to, 16 games, there are a lot of positives.
Definitely a lot of potential positives anyway, no doubt about that. And that's an interesting thing you bring up about the press box. You spend when you go to the ballpark, you spend your time in the press box watching the game, right? I've spent decades there, so have you, Jeff. And it's weird because it's like hard for me to show my real emotion about a game when I watch it at home.
I can't do it.
And I'm starting
to
get it up here when we've got the watch party area, and I'm hollering at the TV a little bit, get down, get down, or get out, or this type of thing. But like we never do that in the press box, and so it's kind of a new old. I mean, that's how I grew up. My dad was like that, and my brothers and me, But it's a new old thing that we do, and people don't get it. Like it's usually when something good happens and I'm home watching it, I try to write it in my scorebook. I'm like, I don't have a scorebook. I'm not don't keep score at home, right? Yeah. So it's a strange dynamic that we experience by not being fans in the press box.
Well, there's no cheering in the press box, and Corey Seager hits that home run to tie it in game 1, and John Moore, who does the weekly podcast with me, was sitting next to me in the press box, and Corey Seager hit it. And there's no doubt it was going to be a home run.
Yeah.
And I said, John, look how far this goes. I didn't say like, holy crap, they just tied the game. I just said, hey, watch how far this goes. It's going.
That's going to be a home run.
It was like a total clinical reaction.
Yep.
You know? So my wife gets mad at me when I don't cheer at Super Bowl parties or a TCU game that we're watching or anything. And so it's just ingrained in us. That's what we have to be. But we get to be a little more fan oriented here.
Also,
we want to be able to relate with the fans and not be stuffy baseball writer like I can sometimes be. So hopefully I can let my guard down a little.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, when I was in the stands watching my dad, my mom trained us to not cheer.
Oh, even there?
Because if things were going good, I mean, we never wore his jerseys, and my mom never wore his number. But if things were going bad, we did not know. We didn't want anybody to know who we were. One time, a fan did pour beer on my angel of a mother.
Really?
Oh,
intentionally? Was mad at her, threw beer on her?
Yeah, he was smoking. My mom has a lung disease, and so she politely just asked, would you mind not smoking? And he was like, absolutely not, and poured beer on her, in a suite. It was a whole thing, but...
Really?
Yeah.
They get him out of there? Somebody come and remove him?
Yeah, he was removed.
Oh,
he was removed. But, my mom trained us, don't cheer.
Yeah, so it's an interesting and fun, really dynamic. And we sat up there. Jeff was at the ballpark Sunday. We sat up there with the Cowboy crew as they kind of overlapped with us on Sunday. And none of them grew up in the press box.
Covering a Cowboys game is not the same.
No, true.
No
Although
doubt about that.
They in the press box, it's loud. They are commenting about every play.
Yeah, but also baseball is just a very old school sport.
Yeah, and I've been in the Cowboys press box since the '90s, and there were cheers, but usually the old timers would go, "No cheering," reminding the youngsters that that's not how it goes. So I was in a press box at one of the Super Bowls back when Elway won for the Broncos, and the entire you liked that. And the entire Denver media, it was his first, so the entire Denver media, when it happened, was just, And I'm like, I thought you guys were media.
Well, they probably were done writing the story. Is John Elway ever going to win a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
So,
tired of that one.
He won 2, in fact.
Yeah.
Hey, I guess Jeff just needs to do 3 shows a day to get this energy. I like it.
Yeah, I'm working on fumes here and delirious. I'm not sure where I am even. So.
Good. We like delirious Jeff. We like delirious Jeff. That is fantastic. And we've got more coming. We are going to get to what the Rangers are doing this weekend, which is awesome on the mound. A couple of more things to talk about and finish up about this game and then all of that. But first, Abs, where are we going?
Game time.
Oh.
Did you like that?
I did.
Maybe we should do a button and we can hit it.
A horn.
Oh, I like that.
Anyway, I'm going to continue. So we, like I say, we're the gift that keeps giving. we want to give you the gift of going to these events because you know what? We can't cheer, but you guys can. If you go to Game Time, you can find last-minute tickets. I don't know about you guys. I'm actually pretty, I'm a last-minute person. I think because, 162 games are printed out on a schedule every year, I try to, live my personal life, whenever I feel like doing something. So Game Time has become my best friend. Living downtown, if I hear, something's going on at the American Airlines Center, I look and see what it is. Maybe it's a concert I want to go to. There was a comedy show I thought was funny. So I just scroll on the app, find a very reasonably priced ticket, and then you can do a panoramic view so you can actually check out where you're going to sit. Because I don't know if you've ever had a bad seat. Have you seen those, Twitter posts that are the foul pole? And,
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want that. So go to Game Time. Pick out your seat. We have a $20 code for you. If you use the code DLLS, you're going to get $20 off your first purchase. And they do have coverage, which is very nice. Because I have spent a chunk of change on some concerts.
Yeah.
And you don't get your money back unless the artist cancels it themselves. So this is going to escape that problem. Game Time. You're going to take the guesswork out of buying your tickets. So download the app, create an account, use code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code $20 off DLLS, and enjoy your Game Time decision.
Have I ever sat behind the foul pole? I grew up in Tiger Stadium. You sit right behind, there were structural steel. Half the seats in that place were obstructed
Beautiful
view, they
stadium.
called it.
View,
Still my
yes.
favorite place, yeah. And I'm sad to see it gone. I've got a huge picture of it on my wall in my sports room. But speaking of those panoramic views, do you realize if you are buying new flooring, you can get basically a panoramic view of your floor? Okay, it's got the old crappy flooring on it. You take a picture, you take it to Empire Today, and they can show you what it would look like. It would be a virtual floor. Let me try the
tour?
carpet. Oh, let me try the hardwood. Oh, let me try
Show
the
that
laminate.
to your wife before you make the decision. I bet she would like it.
She probably would. Anybody would. You can see the room you are considering with any of the flooring that they offer. It's a really cool technology.
Don't they have a
Empire Today is such a great place to do it. Jeff's
They have a
talking
jingle?
about getting flooring at the house eventually here.
Yeah, just the kids have torn it all up and riding bikes and
Yeah.
scooters and all kinds of crap on those floors. They're worn down. So yeah, that's on the wife's shopping list.
Well,
Yeah.
$350 off.
Yeah, how about $350 off on new floors? EmpireToday.com/DLLS. We'll give you $350 as a head start toward your new flooring. And admittedly, it's not cheap, but it's not cheap anywhere. And the thing you know about Empire Today, quality. Right? The quality is so much better than any place else you get. All these other places are trying to copy Empire Today, what they're trying to do is they're using inferior products so they can make more money because they don't get how Empire Today does it. We
Taking
do.
advantage of good people.
Yeah. Isn't that terrible? We get how they do it, and you should too. Okay?
Yeah.
We have
my wife's card is
Empire
in the shop,
floors.
so we're getting some of that right now.
I bet you are. Yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah, so real,
this question
real quickly.
presented by
Did
Natalie.
you see a question?
Yeah, because that's kind of, what they were talking about on the broadcast
yeah.
today.
Yeah.
You said no.
I didn't think he was tipping, but the longer it went and the more it seemed like everybody was sitting on his pitches,
The more
maybe
it
he was.
unveiled.
But I really don't think he was. I just think he was missing middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between strikes and quality strikes.
Yeah.
You don't
Right.
just throw the ball in the middle. And if his changeup was not going off the plate or was bleeding back to the middle, trouble.
Yep. And it was with a capital T today. It was an interesting pitching outing there for the Diamondbacks too, because Merrill Kelly, he was going great, obviously, and then all of a sudden, man, he wasn't, and he left after 3 2/3 innings, and
Either a back or hamstring
yeah,
tightness.
he has
Hamstring cramps is the
hamstring
official word, and he's expected to make his next start.
Okay, so he was obviously hobbled a little bit, but yeah, in came Ciccone, and I've never. First of all, you always hate that, even as a viewer, but as a broadcaster, to have that unlimited time
the
to
time
warm
slot.
up because it's an injury. And so the pitcher came out, Ciccone comes out, and he is literally stretching on the mound. He has done nothing to get ready for this game. So he stretches, and then he long tosses, and then he gets on the rubber, and then he throws his warm-up pitches, and he's finally ready to pitch, and he checks with the umpire. Hey, did Kelly disengage at all? Yeah, because it was the middle of an at-bat. Yeah, he disengaged twice, which means, essentially, you can't, Mr. Ciccone. And before he threw a pitch, he disengaged. So Leody Taveras goes to second base, right? And then Marcus Semien is hitting, and he hits one kind of in the hole at second base. And
Leody
the pitcher,
scores.
Ciccone's just standing there. This is a heck of a game. Oh, I'm supposed to cover. I mean,
Wait, I'm playing in this baseball game
he
right
didn't
now.
have his head in. I have not seen a major league player have that sort of a mental
Brain fart.
vacation.
Brain fart.
It's almost like a White Sox move this season,
It was unbelievable to see what that guy did. And, we saw Brett Strom, the pitching coach, just wearing him out. And I don't know. I don't know if he had any defense. It seemed like he had some, he was having some words back, but it's pretty indefensible.
Yeah, I mean, no matter the situation, you have to be a professional.
Yeah.
You're in the major leagues. You're supposed to know this game situation. If you commit a balk like that, where you step off, you shouldn't have done it, you can't let it affect you. He went and he got a ground ball. Well, finish the play. Get your butt over there. Don't feel any sense of relief. Maybe he's like, oh, good, I did something right.
Yeah.
But then he compounded it by not covering the bag. So, you have to be a pro. That's it. I mean, this is the Major League Baseball. Mistakes like that can't happen. Even if you're winning by 1,000, you still need to do the right thing. And so Brent Strom, who's been around forever, I'm sure he had his thoughts and shared them. And I bet that mistake doesn't happen again.
No. Hope not.
Shouldn't.
Yeah, I hope not. Yeah. So, and the Rangers were able to take advantage a little bit. They sent 8 to the plate in that fourth inning, but only managed 2 runs. And I didn't ever do the math on this or think about this, Jeff, but Dave Raymond was saying during the game, when you send 8 to the plate, 2 is the absolute minimum number of runs that can score.
Yeah. You get 3 outs.
Good math.
Yeah.
3 on base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get 2 home.
Yeah. So, but we're used to the Rangers doing the minimum in offense this season.
Oh,
and,
no kidding.
It comes back to bite them usually. I don't think that they had a 14-run inning in them or whatever it would have taken to win today. But you never know what happens. If it's 5-4 at that point, if you get 2 more runs and it's 5-4, it changes how Bruce Bochy manages the starting rotation. The pitching staff from that point, and you might see different relievers in the game. You might see Cody Bradford out of the game sooner. Whatever the scenario, got to capitalize.
Yep.
2 things.
Yep.
He mentioned Marcus a little bit, but Marcus Semien did get a home run today, 20th of the season.
Yep.
That's his 3rd season with 20 home runs plus.
3rd in a row.
And
6th overall. Yeah.
And Seager, I know he's out right now, but 30 plus. So the 2 of them averaging 50 home runs at least for the Rangers in 2024. And a little Corey Seager news, not an official update yet, but he did go meet with the doctor today. Like you said, the doctor that did his sports hernia surgery is based out of Arizona. No update yet, but you hope to get some Corey Seager news back soon.
Well, I was thinking about this on the way over. When I talked to him Friday, he went on the IL Wednesday. I talked to him Friday, and I said, "Hey, did you see the doctor yet?" He said, "No." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Are you going to?
Yeah.
He was like, he was joking about it.
He said, "I'll let you know what I do." I was like, "Okay," but it seemed like there was no urgency there.
Yeah.
So either they don't think it's serious. The Arizona guy said, "Rest. There's no reason to fly out here and see me now. Just come when the team comes." Blah blah blah. But it just didn't seem like a lot of urgency. Now, if it turns out to be something significant that's going to require a surgery or some serious rehab, you want to get it done as soon as possible. He learned, he said it to us Wednesday, the value of a spring training and having a full off season to get ready. And he didn't have that. and you saw the results in April and into early May this year until he really got going. So it's I would think that as much as I'm paying Corey Seager and as important he is in the team, I would have had his butt to a doctor pretty quick.
Yeah, so I was going to say, is the no urgency a good thing or a bad
I
thing?
would guess it's a good thing. Or it's,
Because if they weren't heading to go see the Diamondbacks, would they have flown him out, immediately when it happened?
They might have, yeah. But it's just, you know how much money these guys spend on plane tickets?
Oh, gosh. Oh.
I'm sure they could find a nice first class seat for Corey Seager and $1,000 round trip, whatever it is. Maybe he's got some airline miles and get an upgrade or something. But send him out, get it taken care of. I guess we'll get some news tomorrow in Seattle, and
Which
go
Jeff
from there.
will be there.
Yeah, Jeff will be in Seattle tomorrow, and that is one of the things about flying the charter, which I did for 10, 12 years, and the Cowboys charter before that. You don't get the miles.
Right.
So, you said they fly 40,000 miles a year.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty nice on your,
You know
on
who
your,
gets the miles? The kids that go see their dad every
Yeah,
day.
that's a heck of a point.
I could have gone to Europe like 6 times when I was 10.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
They ran out. I've
Yeah,
never been.
didn't.
Whatever.
Yeah. Was there a family trip in those days? Did you ever get to fly with the team?
We never flew with the team. The rule was playoffs wives were allowed.
Okay.
But my dad made it in his contract because he was 40 when he retired. So me and my brother were my brother was almost 14 and I was 12. So we traveled everywhere with him,
that's
non-negotiable.
nice. Yeah.
So, but it was it's out of our pocket kind of thing. So I had a lot of Sky Miles.
Yeah, I bet you did. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So let's talk about some of the other things we saw in this game, Jeff. One of them being Owen White. Again, a year and a half ago, everybody was, chomping at the bit, foaming at the mouth about the way Owen was progressing. It obviously seems like there's been some regression since then, but he's here now. What do we think?
Yeah, quick history on him. He was the second round pick in 2018 after Cole Winn was selected in the first round. Tommy John surgery the next spring. Comes back from that. First game in 2021. Muffs a ground ball, makes a bad throw, punches the ground, breaks his hand.
Yeah.
All right, so he's out for 4 months, comes back at the end of the year, pitches in the Arizona Fall League, and it's fantastic. He was the Arizona Fall League Pitcher of the Year. Has a pretty good 2022. Gets hurt after getting promoted to Frisco. Okay, no big deal. and then last year makes his major league debut, but he didn't have a really good season. This year, AAA was really bad. They made him into a reliever. And he'd been okay as a reliever, but still, you got to get the major league reps. And even if your stuff is playing up, your velocity's back, you still have to throw quality strikes. And he didn't do that in his work today. Not bad, but he did give up the long ball and a couple doubles. And it's still a learning situation for him, especially now that he's trying to be a reliever in addition to being just in the major leagues, basically not for the first time, but he's 15 innings tops, at the most in his career so far. Probably hadn't pitched in a while, so again, it is kind of a regression because the Rangers were definitely high on him. He was one of their big four not that long ago, and now he's a reliever. So. Now, if he can be a good reliever, hey, all right, you got something out of it. But when you draft him second overall, kind of like Cole Winn's now a reliever, you really hoped for these guys to be starters. But I guess something's better than nothing. But
Sure.
He still has some work to do.
Andrew Chafin could get him that shirt, failed starter.
Yeah, he could. I don't know.
Maybe not today.
might hurt a little bit today, but they might be. When you take a step like this, maybe it's just to get him focused on, giving it all he's got every inning, and maybe that can then keep getting stretched out until he realizes the urgency of having your best stuff from the get-go. But just with the way things are trending with starters in the minors, Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker in the majors tomorrow, it seems like they've kind of made the decision to at least give this some runway.
Yeah. The Rangers' pitching future is bright indeed. Even with what happened with Owen White today, he's got a lot more runway, too, to get ready for this. But it's bright indeed, and we talk about that coming up next. But first, we want to talk about Shady Rays. Yeah, so
Future's so bright.
I have
for the Rangers
I have
pitching
a pair
staff.
of glasses here, but I have already, and that, I wear them to read basically. But I have ordered my Shady Rays.
Oh, I'm in my selections.
Did you? Did
Yeah.
you make yours?
Yeah,
Jeff?
I did. Yeah.
So we're all getting Shady Rays, and you should too. These are fantastic sunglasses that are literally almost indestructible, right? They're so sturdy. They're so well made. And they're so cool looking. Usually those sturdy,
I got
well-made
the cool
glasses.
looking ones.
Yeah, I mean, I did
didn't
too.
go practical.
No way. Not
Yeah.
me either. I got something that like I'd never buy.
I went like the baseball player, like
So I got,
like
I got the
OG
things.
hilarious
I got
ones.
something I'd never buy because I'm like, let's try something. Let's be
might as well.
cool.
We can match.
Yeah, I hope we do.
I
But
went the conservative route. Yeah.
That
you did.
adds
But,
up.
but were you able to get the prescription?
We're working on it.
Working on that.
Okay.
So,
But they do have prescriptions.
They do.
Just they aren't they're not sure they want a compass pair of
Gotcha.
prescription glasses, which is fine. I'm willing to apply my fantastic ALLCITY benefits to the deal. But yeah, I can't do contacts. I got to have prescription sunglasses in addition to these lovely prescription glasses I have, and I'm looking forward to getting them on my face because I haven't had a good pair of sunglasses since the spring of '23 when I lost my pair at DFW Airport. It's time. I definitely need the sunglasses.
it's one of those bad feelings when you lose your glasses at DFW Airport or anywhere when
Yeah.
you lose those sunglasses. 30% off. Polarized
35.
sunglasses. And do you see
35% off.
35% off? Thank
5
you.
more
You
percent.
need
Yeah.
the glasses,
And
right?
I need these. I'm reading. And you see the different colors on the lenses and so forth. You get to pick that. You get to pick the frame color. Go. Do yourself a favor and use the code DLLS and get yourself some Shady Rays. We love them already.
That's right. And to be further like us, to continue that trend and to be like John and Abby and myself, you need to become a diehard
Yep.
at DLLS. It's our special membership. It allows you access to so many things. There's content that does go behind the paywall. We've started rolling that out. You don't want to miss anything.
Nope.
Yeah.
You want to see these stories written by like seasoned, nationally known reporters and things like that.
You write one every day.
I try. Yeah, I haven't paywalled any of my stuff yet though, but it's coming. So get
Better
your
hurry up.
diehard membership. When you do it, you sign up. You get you a shirt, not just one shirt. You get a shirt every year. These shirts are valued at $35. There's some of them right there. The membership $79.99. You do the math. It's a heck of a deal. You get early access to our special events like stadium takeovers and watch parties and the opportunities to go on trips that you have to shell out the money for. But nevertheless, you can be included in the traveling party. 20% off discount from our merch stores. No advertisements on stories. I mean, it's like pretty primo stuff. There's also the Discord lounge where you can go and talk about your favorite team and
Make some best friends.
vent, make best friends, celebrate,
Vent,
whatever it is, whatever mood you're in, you can do it at the Discord. So go to alldlls.com and become a diehard member today.
Yeah, we'd appreciate it if you do that. And we would appreciate and do appreciate and will appreciate what's coming next because I got to tell you what, we have a very exciting pitching rotation this weekend in Seattle. And that is, take a look, please. There it is. Kumar
It was like
Rocker.
magic.
Jacob DeGrom
Perfect timing.
and Max Scherzer. So it's the future meeting the past and present. Again, between those two guys, Fridays and Saturdays pitchers, five Cy
Cy
Youngs.
Youngs.
5 Cy Young awards, right?
5.
Kumar Rocker.
Kumar,
I think I
yeah.
might have said it the wrong way. I
think we all did.
We appreciate we appreciate Rich Rice. Sent it out a blast to most of the media. It's like Lamar. It's Kumar, which is a good way to remember it. And that is how the correct pronunciation of Rocker's name is, Kumar Rocker. It's so exciting based on what he has done at the minor league level, Jeff. I mean, he's been dominant. It's been super fun to watch him there. The numbers almost speak for themselves.
You compared him to who the other day?
47 strikeouts and Paul Skeens. And he's
his
got
numbers were better.
He's got better numbers than Skeens across the board at the minor league level.
You don't see numbers like that in the minor leagues.
No.
You really don't. And when you do, it's from somebody who's got a chance to be good. And nothing would make the Rangers happier than if Kumar Rocker was a number 1 or number 2 starter. It's such a relief on the budget. It makes the farm system feel good. It gives scouts confidence that they made the right choice. All kinds of things. Guys who are trying to reach the majors can look at him and say, "Hey, I can do this too." But it's special stuff. It's big velocity. It's a wipeout, slider, curveball, whatever. He calls it a curveball. It looks like a slider. He has other pitches too. He just hasn't had to use them that much because he's been wiping guys out with the 2-pitch mix. That won't work in the major leagues. You got to have at least 3. He has 4 or 5. He was rattling them off to us the last time I talked to him. So it's an exciting time. And again, for the camp, it's like, oh, why are the Rangers calling him up? It doesn't make any difference. It does make a difference because they're zeroing in on 2025. I really feel confident that this move is an indicator that the Rangers, that it's Kumar Rocker's rotation spot to lose next spring. That he will come into camp unofficially in the rotation, kind of like Wyatt Langford was unofficially the starting left fielder to coming into the camp this year. So it's a big deal. Get him a feel. Get him a look at major league hitters. Get him comfortable as possible. I mean, there's nothing like the 162 game grind, but just getting a little head start would help so much. So he's going to pitch in Seattle, pitcher's ballpark. The Mariners can't hit. It's a pretty good formula for him as long as he's on top of his stuff, and probably won't go more than 5 innings, and that's fine. He doesn't need to. Just get out there and pitch and experience what the rest of your career is going to look like.
Bruce Bochy shared, 5 innings is kind of the hope for Rocker and DeGrom. But just thinking about it, Rocker and Leiter were the best 1-2 punch in college baseball. And I think it's pretty fascinating and pretty cool that you have Scherzer and DeGrom. Those are undoubtedly the best pitchers in the game. Jacob DeGrom, when healthy, is the best pitcher in the game, in my opinion. But to have those 2 veteran guys like your 1-2 punch, and then to have the future of the 1-2 punch like in the same rotation, that is going to be so fun to watch. And it's going to take, time to iron out the kinks, of course, and learn, the young guys learn what works from minor leagues to major leagues. But we've seen Jack Leiter improve every single start, which is, hopeful. But Kumar had sub-1 ERA in minors?
Yep.
Sub-1 ERA in minors. So
since the Arizona stuff, not the Arizona stuff, but his AA and AAA stuff.
AA and AAA.
Yeah, and it's reported he's going to wear number 80 like he did at Vandy, like he did in spring training. Somebody, I don't remember who, but proposed a good question. Leiter, possibly Sunday. I think we threw around Heaney.
Yeah, I think
Leiter was supposed to go Saturday. I mean, on Friday. His spot in the rotation is Friday.
Yeah, I think he's probably Leiter is probably going to pitch as a long reliever behind DeGrom. That's my guess. Behind DeGrom, the problem with being the road team or being on the road is after 5 innings you're only guaranteed 3 unless you're ahead, and then it'll come down to, well, if it's a game you want to win, do you want David Robertson in there instead of Jack Leiter? So you don't know, but I don't know that Jack's got another start this year. Heaney deserves to be in the rotation. He's done nothing
Agreed.
to warrant getting moved to the bullpen. I know he's a free agent this year, but don't treat your veterans like that, because people take notice of that stuff. And then Evaldi will pitch too, so it's looking like Evaldi, Heaney, Bradford, DeGrom, and Rocker in some mix or form. That's 6. So maybe there's another piggyback situation. I don't know, but they actually have some pitching right now.
Yeah.
Does Scherzer, any mention of a limit or?
I don't know. He's only throwing 50
deal.
pitches or so he's not going to go out and throw 80. But yeah, we can continue this after I tell you guys about
Look at him rolling into ads.
some merch.
Yeah.
some
proud.
merch, some
Yeah.
All City merch.
Look at that.
I love talking about our merch because I'm so excited to get it. Like you can look on the screen and see it. Those Ranger shirts are pretty sweet. I've got that red one coming, I believe, the Texas Chew, and another one, and I have the TCU one coming.
Which you launched your first show
I
today.
did.
Congratulations.
Talked myself out here. I'm ready for bed. But go to store.allcitynetwork.com. We're taking pre-orders right now. The shirts are $35. I think we have a couple sweatshirt selections. Hats are coming, which I'm going to end up dropping some more money on lids. So, yeah, go get your stuff. Store.allcitynetwork.com.
And you can match Jeff.
There you go.
Will you let him know what day you wear it?
If you want me to tweet out what I'm wearing that day before I come to the studio, yeah.
Could be good.
Okay.
That'd be great.
But you can join us. Join the dark side, which is the right side. Die Hard. Become a Die Hard today. You're going to get exclusive content. I've read some of the behind the paywall content. It's really good stuff.
Of course it is. We
Yeah.
got great writers. We got great people.
writers.
Yeah.
We've got great teams that we're covering. Great group of people. Like we said, those events. If we would have been in this rolling for a while, maybe we could have done something with Rocker and DeGrom starting and made it a trip or something like that. I think Jeff's pretty set on a spring training thing.
Yeah,
little trip.
yeah, we just got to sell it.
Yep.
Oh, I'm down.
That's
We're
it.
fixing to.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
down.
Hey, forget becoming a diehard. You can do that too, but come on board as a sponsor. Let's
Yeah.
let's get a trip together. Somebody wants to get good exposure for their company.
Yes.
Go out to Arizona, have a few cocktails, watch some baseball. It's hard
Great
to beat.
environment. It's like
Yeah.
vacation.
Yeah.
So-
and diehards would get first access to that
Yep.
stuff.
Yes.
And 20% off.
That's right.
20% off. Like we said, you get a shirt every single year. I thought it was like a one and done deal, but it's every
No,
single
every
year. And the shirts, he forgot to mention the shirts. If you've got somebody in Chicago or Philly or Phoenix or Denver,
yeah.
you can give them a gift. There's gift cards as well. But become a diehard. Join us. We'll be your best friends ever.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I mean, they get to be Abby's best friend.
You're my
And
best friend.
Jeff and I'll just be along for the ride. Yeah. So, let's dive back into this pitching a little bit because it's so exciting to see now DeGrom back out there. We barely got to know him. Now we always
You
point
know him.
out we know him, but
Yeah.
we barely got to know him as a pitcher and what he
Rangers,
does and
Jacob
what
DeGrom.
and studying him every day. What we know is the Rangers won every game he started last year.
That's right. He made 6 starts, and the first one wasn't very good because it was opening day. He was kind of amped up, but they ended up winning the game. I mean, without Jacob DeGrom, the Rangers don't go to the playoffs. They don't win the World Series. It's that simple. Wins in April count as much as the wins in September, and for the Rangers to win all 6 of his starts, pretty big. If they go 5-1, guess what? They don't go to the playoffs. So, but he's great. As Abby was saying, he really is the best guy going when he's healthy. I know there are people who probably think Rory Sasaki out in Japan is good, but let's see him with a major league ball.
Right.
Let's see him endure the travel and not have to pitch twice in 1 week as opposed to just having a one start a week. He is great, Sasaki. No doubt about it. But DeGrom has been there, done that. He hasn't done it for a while. That's maybe a concern. He hasn't had more than 100 innings pitched since 2019. So what are you going to do with him next year? Let's see it this year. Let's see how he can get through his 3 starts this year. Probably won't go past 6 innings. I would think 5 might be a stretch. Just get him back into it. Get him seeing major league hitters, how they react to his stuff, how he feels after starts, what he needs to work on in the offseason. All these things will come to fruition in these next 3 weeks. And it starts Friday with him. And I know he's excited. He's not a guy who shows a lot of emotion on the mound, but he doesn't show a lot of emotion in the clubhouse. But he showed a little when I talked to him the other day.
Giddy.
He's very excited, and he's got to control that. I mean, that's another thing. Competing again, controlling the adrenaline. all things that he
Yeah, we
wants
saw
to
that
do
with
again
Leiter.
and needs to do again.
Yeah.
So
What's it been? It's been like 14 months, right?
Yeah.
he had surgery in June, maybe June 13th of 2023.
But his last game
was in April,
Yeah.
April
Yeah.
28th.
Yeah.
They tried to rest it and all this stuff, and he even threw, and every time he did, it just didn't recover well enough. So he had the imaging done, and it didn't go well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he hasn't pitched since April 28th, 2023 against the Yankees. The start he left early, but I think he had a no-hitter at the time he
I
left.
think he did.
So that's
Yeah.
how good he is. you
Yeah,
know.
it's really good.
Too, there's this like a player's take, and they were asking everyone like who has the filthiest pitch like on the team. Jacob deGrom's slider was undoubtedly the answer. It has a 90% swing and miss rate, and it's it's a road to get back to that Jacob deGrom that we know. But I literally have been watching like pitching ninjas breakdowns
Okay.
of just Jacob deGrom on the mound, and I'm gonna do it until his starts. Like it's so fun to watch.
It's fun to watch him
It's insane.
buckle people and break their bats.
It's pinpoint precision.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. And look, you see the disgust on the face of guys who are facing him. I mean, I love when you
hilarious.
see that reaction. It's just like
You're-
basically, what am I supposed to do? I could bring a tennis racket up here and I'm not going to hit that ball. It's just because of the way it moves, especially that slider. Really fun. What's also going to be fun is that Max Scherzer comes back the very next day. One of the most fun things about that for us, Jeff, is we get to talk to him more because that guy, he's
He's still around. He's still talking.
he is. He
Yeah.
talks around, but to talk to him, before and after every
Yeah.
start is going to be good because it's just fun to talk to.
And it's brutally honest, no excuses.
Yep.
He gives such a detailed breakdown of what went wrong, what went right through this whole medical ordeal. He's been so he's not a doctor,
But he sounds like it.
I mean, he knows all the terms and how everything connects and works, and
Yeah.
the kinetic chain, and then one thing leads to another, and all of that. He's great to talk to about just the game in general, rule ideas that he has. He made that start in Round Rock back in April, and he just was asked, I guess, about the challenge system, and he just went into this whole thing about how the bottom 10% of umpires. They need to be like relegated, like it's the Premier League or something. And he has these great ideas. Pitchers should be allowed to. There needs to be an emphasis on starting pitchers going deeper in games, something that baseball is looking into. I wouldn't be
that.
surprised if Max Scherzer got a hold of a couple people and bent their ears, and maybe they're like, okay, Max. I get
Yeah,
it, but
we got you.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do it. Fine,
Yeah.
just stop talking. But
Yeah.
no, I love to listen to him talk. I mean, this is a guy who won 3 Cy Young awards. He's going to the Hall of Fame, and he's pretty much an open book. And you don't get that a lot. So I don't know if he'll have any other starts beyond what happens
Yeah.
this season. He's a free agent. Be high risk, high reward for somebody. He wants to keep pitching. He loves it in Texas. If something were to work out, that'd be great. But to know that at some point in your history, a 3-time Cy Young winner pitched for you, a franchise that's never won a Cy Young of its own, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. The development of pitchers, right? We're watching a renaissance, in a way, of pitching development in this Rangers organization. First of all, not only has a Ranger never won one, but the Rangers just have no history of developing their own pitchers throughout the history of the franchise.
Yeah.
And now we're on the precipice of Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter and Owen White. It's not like they've never, Kenny Rogers comes to mind as a guy they developed.
Kevin
Good old
Brown.
Kenny.
Kevin Brown, they developed.
But Kevin Brown's best years were elsewhere.
Elsewhere.
It's not
CJ, they developed.
Derek Holland had some really good years
Yep.
there before he hurt his knee. There's just, you're right. And everybody knows it. I mean, it's not it's not a secret. But then you look at Bruce Bochy, who comes in, and part of what sold him to get off the couch in Nashville and come back was the promise of the
roof.
farm system and the roof.
And the roof, you know that.
But at the time there's Jack Leiter and
Yeah.
Kumar Rocker, and exciting guys. He'd probably seen a lot of them in Nashville because that's where Vanderbilt is, so he probably knew a lot about them. He had those championship teams in 10, 12, and 14 at the Giants. Tim Lincecum, Matt Cain, Madison Bumgarner. I mean, holy cow! That's
iconic.
That's a couple Cy Youngs from Lincecum, I believe.
Yeah.
Cain threw a perfect game. Bumgarner's the best pitcher in postseason history. You could argue, and it's pretty special stuff if you're able to do it. You look at the A's teams; they're the Moneyball teams. Well, yeah, they had Moneyball, but they also had 3 fantastic young starters in Mulder, Zito, and Hudson. That's easily overlooked. So it can just really change your franchise if you can develop multiple good starting pitchers. And hopefully, the Rangers are hoping that Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter are their version of Lincecum and Cain.
Sure.
Or Zito and Mulder.
Yep.
And guys like Nathan Eovaldi especially are pouring into that. You know, I can see Nathan Eovaldi taking a position like Mike Maddox, and he's known for his scouting reports as well. But one thing that I kind of hope that Scherzer and DeGrom are teaching these young guys, I was talking to the Rangers trainer about it, Lucky.
Matt Lucero.
Yes, and he was just sharing, like, there's nobody better in the game that understands their body like Max Scherzer. Jacob DeGrom is really good too, but Max is like pinpoint. I mean, he knows everything, and you know that comes with time and age. And like he said, around 25, like they start to have like a 25% idea of what's actually going on with their body. But it's in the later years that they can help the trainers and, you know, put them in the best position to kind of help them. So I just hope over these, you know, the last season, 14 months or maybe more with DeGrom, you know, they're showing them a really crucial part of the game too, which is not only what you do when you're starting, but it's rehab, recovery, and things like that. And maybe that can play off in the long run of their game. And maybe they picked up a thing or two from, you know, that recovery process.
You know, nobody that's in the game wants to kill the goose that's laying the golden eggs, right? And so, but when you're a young man, you're still getting paid ridiculously well. Although in baseball, you know, your first 6 years, not necessarily.
It's
but
under like
once
$1 million.
you're arbitration eligible, you're pretty much going to start getting paid if you have that level of success. But the point is, they all get this, right? But when you're younger, you're like, I'm invincible. I can do this. I can throw this ball all day. And you get a little older and you go, man, I really want to keep throwing this ball. But, man, my arm and my body and my back and my knees, so you start to study it, right? And you start to work on it. They get, you know, physically, bodily, they probably get old quicker because they just put so much pressure on it. Throwing a baseball the way these guys do with the spin and everything they do now, it's such torque on their body. It is not a natural move to begin with. And now to get these spin rates and to get this velo, you're taking
which is only increasing every single year.
Yeah, and you're taking a very unnatural position anyway and making it even more difficult.
I mean, it's a power movement. It's why guys don't run. Some guys still do distance running, but you see guys who run sprints more because a sprint more closely emulates the pitching delivery. And but it's not easy. And when I was rattling off those homegrown guys, I mean, Jacob DeGrom was part of that with the Mets with Matt Harvey, Noah Syndergaard, and DeGrom. So, I mean, it didn't work out for the Mets quite like it did for the other clubs. But, Jacob knows his body. Yeah. He does. He knows what it takes, what he needs, but Max takes it to a whole nother level.
And some of that is just sort of interest and aptitude, too, right? It's just like, I'm interested. I'm interested in the kinetics and the kinesis.
And Max wants to play a few more years.
He wants to go till 45,
Verlander said that as well. So are we trying to...
They're all trying to be Tom Brady. I don't blame them, right? Brady, he showed that you can, right? It's just a matter of the work and
Nolan Ryan.
That's right. And Nolan was the outlier on that stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, that was like nobody did it then. And again, I'll never forget the time after Nolan's 7th no-hitter. I'm there in the clubhouse. We were out on the field, getting shots when he won it, and then I'm in the clubhouse interviewing him afterwards, and he's on the exercise bike to get the lactic acid kind of out of his legs, drinking a beer. You know, I mean, like that's just.
Andrew Chafin would do something like
Yeah,
that.
he probably would, and certainly I know a lot of hockey players that would have. But that was the way
back
then.
in the day? Yeah.
That was the way then, and that's what Nolan did. That after every start, exercise
funny.
bike with a beer. Sounds like my.
It works
way to
out
work
well
out.
for
a good way
him.
for me to wind down.
I
tonight.
don't think we're going to question Nolan
No,
Ryan's
I don't think I would
recovery
either.
process.
No. Hey, we want to tell you about something really cool. The New York Mets today had a very special tribute to 9/11, and we don't want to go through this whole show and not acknowledge the fact that it is the anniversary, the 23rd anniversary of one of the darkest days in American history, and we love that. Baseball, as we kind of talked about it in our pregame edition on the DLLS podcast, baseball helped heal America, right?
And
I mean, you know, it really did. It helped bring America back together. It helped heal America. It helped so many Americans feel like they were American again, right? Like they were doing normal things again. Abby's dad talked about how the players were kind of like the rest of America at first, kind of like, oh, let me just crawl in a hole and get away from all this stuff. But then they see what their efforts can do to make people feel better. It's an awesome, cool thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were watching, a highlight from a game back in 2001, and one of the, her husband passed.
He was a firefighter. He was a New York firefighter.
And she said that game was the first time her children cheered and smiled
and
in days.
smiled in 10 days,
Francisco Lindor had a pretty cool tribute to first responders on his glove. And just such a cool moment. You know, they were in Toronto playing the Blue Jays. They were actually getting no hit, which he pulled Corey Seager.
Well, how about that? See what that right there is? That tribute to wonderful people who serve other people. That's what they call good karma.
Yeah.
Right? Because his
indeed.
team's being no hit in the 9th inning. And what does Lindor do?
Pulls Corey Seager, and he hits a home run. No outs. Home run. We were asking our Rangers encyclopedia what was a Seager situation. It was against the Astros.
2 outs, 1 on. Framber Valdez last month. It was the second time.
Last month.
Yeah.
It was the second time that Corey Seager has done that in his career. He had broken up a no-hitter with 2 outs in the final inning.
With a homer?
Not with a homer. It was,
Okay.
it was a single the first time he did it. This one was a homer, and then next thing he gets on base, and Josh Young almost tied the game with a ball that was caught at the fence. So, but yeah, great deal there, Lindor. Such a
tribute.
a good. He's not a kid anymore.
Yeah.
But smile on his face all the time.
Yeah.
And the Mets, by the way, go on to win that game, 6-1.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
They scored 6 in the 9th.
Crazy.
And then Toronto comes back with, or I think Toronto scored their 1 in the 9th, and that was it. So it was quite a pitcher's duel at that point. It does seem somehow fitting that the guy who paid tribute to and remembered all those people, right, was the hero to get that thing started.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So awesome. Well, that's it. We appreciate you hanging out with us so much. Jeff
Hanging
has
out
to
with
catch
Jeff
an
a lot today.
early flight.
It's not
that
too early.
Yeah.
The return flight's really early.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're getting back for baseball, man.
I got to get back for little kids baseball. I missed the first game, but I'll get the second one.
Jeff will be in Seattle for Rocker's debut.
And
DeGrom's return debut season.
Season debut.
So follow DLLS Rangers on Twitter. We're gonna have exclusive content from Jeff. I've given him a healthy list of things to be on the lookout for.
Yeah. Not my first rodeo, although with this, these selfie things might be something new. But you know what? Hosting a podcast by myself earlier today was new. So
how about that?
I'm going into a whole new frontier here at DLLS, and I like it.
It's a brave new world, and Jeff's obviously gone to Seattle millions of times to cover the Rangers in various situations. But this, we want you to know, is how we weren't planning on sending Jeff on the road this trip, but once we knew Rocker was starting the game, we did, because this is how DLLS is going to cover this team. We will be there when things happen, and we're there not for us, we're there for you. So like us, subscribe to us, keep chatting along with us. We appreciate you very much, and we will be there for you, not only when Rocker starts, but every day.
I was about to say we're back
Every
tomorrow.
day.
Yeah, every day.
All right.
Jeff will join us from Seattle. We'll be here in studio. Rocker makes his debut. It's going to be a fun day and a fun weekend with us and Jeff in Seattle on the DLLS Rangers podcast.
Will you bring popcorn again?
Yeah.
Perfect.
We all silly like the mayor.